Vox, I appreciate you wanting to get a little, I guess friendly in a physical sort of way, but I don't play that, man, all right? I don't play that, so take about 10 steps away from my freaking butt crack. All right, now that we got that all out of the way, all right, we got everybody in the Ghost Report chat talking crap. Let's go ahead and segue from what I was discussing about eliminating text-to-speech from TCR and TGS, all right? Making it free-flowing, making it a little bit better. Let's go ahead and discuss what we have found out this weekend, and that was the death of Dark Razors, the OG True Capitalist Radio clipper, going back as far as 2010, as I recollect. And as a matter of fact, many of the folks that are listening right now probably would have never heard about this show or what I do had they not listened to many of his clips. Now, the reason I bring him up is because we have just been informed this weekend that he is no longer with us. He has passed on, and I really don't know what the deal was. According to reports, this is all alleged. I'm getting this from third-party sources here, but it is alleged that Dark Razors OD'd intentionally, from what I understand. And once he passed on, I thought it was, only right of me to, announce it on Twitter and let everybody know that, hey, Dark Razor Z has passed away. Our thoughts and prayers to his friends and loved ones. R.I.P. And I don't know if you folks have taken a look at that thread. All right. I mean, I'll retweet the thread right now. Let me go ahead and retweet it. Okay. Now it's at the top of the page. If you take a look at that thread, obviously there's a lot of folks that are like, oh, Godspeed, that's horrible. I wouldn't have known about TCR if it wasn't for him. And there's a lot of, well wishes. And then you've got folks that I guess knew this guy personally, and I guess corresponded with him and knew him intimately for many, many years, that are saying, very disparaging and are levying a lot of allegations towards him. And we're going to discuss that here on this X Spaces here. But before I do, we got some more Buy Me a Coffees here. Matt hooked it up and he said, just found out tonight you're still broadcasting again. I listened to you back in 2011. Anyway, go Ravens. Hey, thank you, Matt. Cheers to you. And I'll be in the True Capitalist Radio chat room right after this broadcast. So cheers to you. I'm glad you're still living or still listening to the broadcast. I'm glad you're chilling with us, man. Anyway, cheers, Matt. Thank you very much. And appreciate you chilling with us, man. All right. I can't even believe it. What's going on to Shine Free Media? Hey, Ghost, thanks for 25 years of promoting capitalism and introducing me to internet radio, man. Cheers to Shire Free Media. Shire Free Media. Don't call me dyslexic either, assholes, all right? Anyway, cheers to Shire Free Media, man. Thank you for listening. And I think you're a part of the IC, man, so cheers to you as well, man. All right. Well, let's go ahead and discuss what we're going to discuss here. Dark Razors, okay? Should we remember him fondly, or should we remember him in some sort of despair? We should be pissing on his grave or whatever. I mean, there's a lot of allegations that have been alleged. And I don't know if y'all saw this. Unfortunately, Dark Razor's mother was interacting with, I believe, his ex-wife in this thread. And Dark Razor's, his mother, alleged, and look, let me go ahead and I guess... Let me give you the Prime Rose, or should I say at Snail's Eggs, all right, is apparently or allegedly Dark Razor's ex-wife. And Dark Razor's ex-wife, alleges a lot of things. And I'm going to retweet that right now if y'all want to take a look at it. I'm retweeting exactly what the allegations are. She says, I've got police reports from when he was arrested for assaulting me multiple times, plenty of texts and emails, voicemails from him harassing me. But regardless, he admitted all these things himself numerous times. And in this thread, there's a lot of discourse that happens, that has now, I think, been deleted, that was a correspondence between this person, Snail's Eggs, and what is alleged to be Dark Razor's mother. And unfortunately, Dark Razor's mother privated the tweets, but Dark Razors is alleging that this Snail's Eggs, which is, the ex-wife of Dark Razors, is the one that drove him to suicide. This is her allegations, not mine. The alleged mother of Dark Razors, that she drove him to suicide and that she has all the proof, quote unquote, all the emails that every time Dark Razors attempted to contact her, the first thing that she would say, allegedly, is to kill yourself. And it was repetitive and repetitive. And according to the account, allegedly, that belongs to Dark Razor's mother, she's going to turn those in to some police authority to do some investigation. Now, obviously, there was a lot of people that came to her defense. All right. And I'm talking Snail's Eggs. And they said that, look, Dark Razors was a piece of trash. This guy didn't care about anybody. This guy was an abuser. He was a manipulator. The whole 9 yards. And even a child pedophile. Now, I got forwarded this, and I think the base department in his Buy Me a Coffee donation threw a couple links in there. But according to his old X account, his old Twitter account, he actually posted things suggesting that he liked child sex. Okay. Now, these are all screenshots. These are all allegedly his previous, now banned X account. And this is why a lot of folks that are coming out now are trying to disparage any kind of positivity in the memory of Dark Razors. And I'd like to hear what people have to say about it. I'm not even joking around because I know this is a big deal. A lot of folks out there would not know about the show if it wasn't for this guy. So I'd like to hear what you got to say. And I'm actually going to open up the X spaces to individuals that want to discuss this, that know about Dark Razors or that know anything about any of that stuff. I'm going to open up the Twitter spaces to folks that want to be in the queue. Just if you want to talk, let me know. We'll go ahead and talk about Dark Razors here because, we got two sides to every story. And according to the folks that knew him, his ex-wife, a lot of folks that are in the same weirdo community, the furry community, whatever the fuck, the same people that are in the same circle as his wife are validating a lot of what the wife's allegations are. But then you've got Dark Razor's mother coming out and saying otherwise. So, it's really confusing. And I'd like to open up the conversation to anybody out there who wants to discuss what it is they either know about Dark Razors or how you think Dark Razors should be remembered. And I'm going to open it up here in a second, but we got some more Buy Me a Coffees here. We got Froppy. He hooked it up with 2 beers. The fact that multiple well-known furries are the ones exposing Dark Razors is insane. I was just alluding to that, Froppy. I remember seeing a video of a popular furry YouTuber using an audio clip of you from a recent show. So if anything, you caused the furries to have massive success. All these rich furries are because of you. Don't go there. All right. Don't go there. Let me tell you something. My biggest criticism about furries is the fact that, let's just be honest, all the furries, at least 99.9% of them, are fatties and uglies. They're fatties and uglies, and they use that stupid mascot outfit to hide their disgusting bodies and their disgusting faces in order to participate in sexual deviant behavior. All right. So Froppy, I get it. I get what you're saying there. All right. But don't blame me for successful furries or some shit. I'm not down with that crap. All right. To each their own, but don't start yiffing at me. Let's just put it that fucking way. All right. Don't start fucking doing your yiffing shit at me. Anyway, thank you, Froppy. Anyway, we got Fuck You, who hooked it up with a Buy Me a Coffee. Free my N-word Dark Razors ghost. Let that N-word live. CIA, whatever the hell that means. I don't know what the hell that means. Jesus Christ. All right, folks. All right, look, I'm going to open up the Twitter spaces here. All right, or X spaces, whatever the hell you want to call this thing. We are discussing right now how Dark Razors should be remembered. So let's see if anybody wants to be on the horn here. There's only about 4 people, and they're all fucking trolls, all right? There are 4 fucking people, and they're all trolls, for Christ's sake. Nobody wants to have anything to say about Dark Razors on whether or not he should be remembered fondly or we should be pissing on his grave. I mean, none of you? Good God, what the fuck am I doing here, for Christ's sake, man? Look at this. You know what? I'm a cunt. Are you there? Are you there? I'm a cunt. Hey, I'm a cunt. You there? You're on. You're not going to see anything?
Oh, you got me?
What's going on?
I don't know any of this shit, dude. I'm just fucking around.
I just wanted to see how fucking homosexual your voice was, and it's pretty homosexual.
Whoa.
Yeah, get out of here. Get him out of here. All right? Fucking idiot. You talk shit all the time on my Twitter feed, and I just wanted to hear that feminine vernacular in your voice. All right? I just wanted to hear that feminine vernacular, and let me tell you, it's very feminine, for Christ's sake. You might as well take over the job of Richard Simmons, you fucking fruit bowl. Get him out of here. All right? Is there anybody that wants to talk about this subject, Dark Razors, how we should be remembered, for Christ's sake? How about Harold Stretch Joseph? You there? You there, Harold Stretch Joseph? All right. Yeah, that's great. All right. That's great. You know, how quaint. I'm trying to get somebody to open up about how they feel about Dark Razors, and these idiots are trying to pretend it's fucking Radio Graffiti. Unfucking believable. Unbelievable. All right, who else do we have here? Does anybody have anything to say about Dark Razors here? Live scores now. All right, do you got anything to say about any of this shit? Live scores now. Hello, you gonna fucking say something? You gotta play with the damn Peter Popper there, boy. Look, he's gonna play with his. We got Helen Keller death mutes on the goddamn X spaces, for Christ's sake. Hey, now underscore scores. That's your fucking name. Fucking, I hope you get fucking hacked by a Nigerian prince, you fucking idiot. Get this idiot out of here. All right, let's get it out of here. Does anybody have anything to fucking say about dark, fucked up fucking shitbird razors, for Christ's sake? The prick just died. I'm just asking if anybody has anything to say about the fuck. All right? And here I am. I'm trying to put it out there. I'm trying to say, hey, how should we remember this guy? How should we remember this? And look at you fucking jerks. Look at you fucking jerks. Jesus Christ. Who else? Is there anybody that's going to say anything here? How about Fem Socials? All right, what do you got to say? What's your excuse, Fem Socials? You there? You got to fucking... Yeah, there you go. Get this. Are you fucking kidding me? Is this... I mean, this is... Look, regardless of what you feel about Dark Razors, I mean, come on, man. And Cali dude, what's going on with the Cali dude? He said if Dark Razor's mom loved him so much, then why was he homeless? All right, now look, Cali dude, since he aired it out, let me explain our last experiences. And I'm talking about the Thunderdome, because believe it or not, we actually had somebody invite him to the Thunderdome. And unfortunately, this is our experience, okay? Dark Razors was at such a low point in his life that he didn't even want to get a job. He didn't want to do anything with himself. All he wanted to do was take whatever benefits he could juice off of the military and just do that and spend whatever he made from whatever he got from his military benefits on cigarettes and, I don't know, junk food and shit. He absolutely did not want to do anything. So when we wanted him to come to the Thunderdome, believe it or not, somebody had to pay him in order for him to show up into the Thunderdome. I'm not joking around. Somebody had to pay this guy $75 in order for him to spend like an hour or two in the Thunderdome. And when he was in the Thunderdome, I mean, it was just like a broken person. I mean, everybody was trying to help him in there because, you know, they remember Dark Razors, you know? And the guy didn't really want any help. He's like, no, I'm just going to go ahead and wait for my benefits. And I'm just going to, like, you know, live off the military benefits. And I'm not, he had no ambitions whatsoever. No ambitions. He did talk a little bit about how the divorce kind of messed him up completely. He did discuss the very low point he was in his life, and he was homeless. So to validate what Cali Dude is saying, he was homeless. But at the same time, I do want to say that he wasn't in a very good way. He was, I don't even know if I should be saying this, but he admitted to us that he didn't necessarily get dishonorably discharged from the military. He got forcefully discharged from the military. Allegedly, he was hooked on cough syrup. Okay. Don't ask me. I don't know. I just, that's what the allegation was. We asked him. He did validate it. And that's exactly what happened. I mean, he was supposed to be doing some kind of a job or something. And apparently, I don't know, he got tested. I have no idea. But that was the culprit, allegedly. All right. So good God. All right. Good God. So that's our experience. That's why the Cali dude's like, well, if his mother loved him so much, why was he, why was he homeless? Why was he homeless? And look, somebody in the thread, in the snail's eggs thread on the, RIP thread for Dark Razors has now posted the alleged tweet that happened on March 3rd, 2024. And it says, and I quote, this is what it says on the tweet. Okay, so I watched children having sex. And it was, quote, erotic. That's what it says on the tweet. Let me retweet that. I just, Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ. Now, there's no justification in that. I mean, there's no putting a mulligan on that one. I'll tell you that right now. And I just retweeted it if y'all are curious. Unbelievable. Unfucking believable. Anyway, I'm looking at the Ghost Report chat. Everybody out there is, kind of taken back now by what we're seeing. I just can't believe it. I mean, how dark of a place do you have to be where you openly admit this? And it's documented. I mean, the guy's gone now, and it's documented for posterity. Okay, now that throws a whole new twist on it. All right, that throws a whole new twist on it. Let me go ahead and let me get some people on X Spaces and see what they have to say about it. All right, let's see. Does anybody have anything legitimately to say about it? How about the Green Thunder? All right, what do you have to say about this whole Dark Razor situation? Green Thunder, you there? You got to put the fucking microphone so you can talk, dude. You there? All right, stupid. This is not Radio Graffiti, you fucking idiot! Don't you understand that? This is not Radio fucking Graffiti! Jesus Christ. I'm opening up the goddamn X Spaces and trying to, get people to, open up about what they feel about goddamn Dark Razors. And let me tell you, after this fucking tweet that I just retweeted, I don't feel too fucking fondly about Dark Razors after that. I can tell you that right goddamn now. Anyway, yes, man, kablam. Yes, ma'am, kablam. What's going on, dude? Hey, Ghost, hope all is well. Thank you for all the time, effort you put in on the show. Crazy to hear that the guys who's introduced me to your show has passed. Hearing all this info about Dark Razors leads me to a conflict about feelings, how I should feel about his passing. On one hand, I should be sad since he's the reason I even know about True Capitalist Radio. On the other, it seems like the guy had a ton of skeletons in the closet, demons, and it kind of strikes me as a piece of shit sometimes. I'm sure other people feel the same. So cheers to him introducing your show to a ton of people at the very least. Well, that's a very good way of putting it there. Yes, man, kablam. I agree. I can't believe that this is what this guy has turned out to be. I just can't believe it. And by the way, if you're listening on Twitter Spaces right now, I've just retweeted a bunch of tweets that allege, well, I don't know if it's alleged anymore, but there's a lot of evidence that suggests that Dark Razors was a really kind of a bad person. I guess. I mean, people were alleging that in the thread. Now, I think it's pretty much validated at this point in time. I mean, Jesus Christ. Unbelievable. I mean, this is just horrible. All right, look, I'm going to go back to some, see if people want to be on Twitter Spaces to give us their thoughts on Dark Razors here. I think we've got Prince. Are you there, Prince? You got thoughts on Dark Razors here? You got to push the microphone to talk, by the way. Yeah, you're there.
Hey, sweet cheeks. I just wanted to celebrate this occasion. Any furry leaving this planet and going to hell is okay with me. Shout outs to Winston and Vox.
All right. We didn't need to hear that. All right. We get it. The guy's a bad guy. The last thing that we need is to be, disparaging his name. A lot of this stuff is allegations. I mean, I don't know. This tweet is a pretty bad tweet. I'll be honest with you. This was pretty bad. All right. But the allegations, when it comes to any kind of domestic squabble or any of that shit, we don't fucking know. All right. We're just hearing hearsay. And we've got a lot of folks in here that have just allegedly have known him for years. I mean, obviously his ex-wife, is on Twitter. So we got a lot of, just different types of information. And look, as I stated, we had to pay him to come into the Thunderdome, and he was not in a good way at all. And every one of us, a lot of people that, like you just said there, yes, man, kablam, they were introduced to the show because of him, and they wanted to see the best for him. They tried everything they could. They were like, hey, man, why don't you try to do this? Hey, I'm in California. I could probably get you a job doing that. He didn't want to do it. He didn't want to do anything. And we talked to him for a good 3 hours, I think, that night. And we wanted him to come back. And when we asked him to come back, he wanted more money to come back. So that kind of tells you, where he was at mentally, I guess. I have no idea. I have no idea. So I just, I don't know. I don't know what to say. I have no idea what to say. Anyway, I think we've got some people on the chat room that are saying his mom is on. Hold on. I think we may got Dark Razor's mom here, and that will kind of give us a little bit more enlightened perspective on the subject. Hold on. Is this Dark Razor's mom? Hello? And you got to click the microphone to talk. Hello. How you doing? And by the way, before I talk, I want to say sorry for your loss, regardless of what people are saying. But go ahead. Thank you for doing this.
Thank you. I really appreciate it. I've seen all of these allegations. I've seen all of these horrible things that are being said about our son. I can tell you that his ex-wife, Mercy, is absolutely very petty, and I don't know why she would make up these allegations towards him. The child pornography post is not true. That is a false post. I don't even know where she got that. We have all of his electronics. I've been in his phone. I've been in his Twitter. I've been in everything, and it's just untrue. He did reach out to her last August to tell her, he was just sorry for everything for the last few years, and she replied back to him, kill yourself. This is all that she's done for the past 2 years, her and her friends, is to say, kill yourself, kill yourself. I do want to put it out there that he did not OD.
Okay.
He did not kill himself. This was an accident that he was in, and he died, unfortunately.
Oh, I'm sorry. This is all allegations that,
yes,
we're third party. So I appreciate you giving us the 411 on his unfortunate passing. Let me ask you a question really fast. Okay. I saw the exchange between you and I guess her name is Mercy, Snail's Eggs.
Yeah.
And I saw that there was a gang of people that, I'll be honest with you, back in 2011, 2010, many of these folks that are now ganging up on you and anybody who's trying to, give any positive light upon his unfortunate demise, they all were once upon a time friends of his. I remember some of these people that are now really talking very ill comments towards you, especially during this time, were actually, friends of his, at least in 2011, 2010 that I recollect. How did that go awry?
They were common, mutual friends. Him and Mercy had a lot of mutual friends. And I guess when they split up, she got the friends.
Oh, I'll be honest with you. We talked to him. I think the last time we talked to Dark Razors or John was about 7 or 8 months ago. And we invited him. I think you heard the story. We invited him to the Thunderdome. He was very down on his luck. He was very broken. Yes. He did talk a lot about his ex-wife and how that kind of threw his life down the tubes. And, he was just, he did make that point of emphasis. And many of us in there, especially folks that were, kind of sympathetic to his situation, attempted to try to reach out to him and say, hey, look, man, I can get you a job, or, I can, get you in a position. And he was just gone. He didn't want to do anything. He didn't want to do anything. So, I mean, he was pretty a broken man. I can't tell you why that was, but he did make a lot of comments about his ex-wife.
Yes, he really, really did love her. They both lived with us for about a year, and then she lived with us by herself while he was stationed in Korea for about a year. When they came back after he was discharged, they both, I have to say, were high all the time. He struggled with his sobriety. He struggled with his depression, and she did not help it. She put him down. She called him stupid. She yelled at him all the time. It just didn't, it didn't help with his psyche at all. They moved out. They got their own apartment, and I don't know what happened. They lived together. But when he was arrested, she made allegations that he apparently beat her. He did grab her. He shook her. She called the cops on him, and she fought. She dropped the charges. The DA had dropped all the charges, and the judge wanted him to do some mental health sessions because of his depression. And he did that, and he did struggle with his sobriety, and he did struggle with his depression. Last year, he spent quite a bit of time in rehabs, and we reached out to him, and we tried so hard to get him help. And, unfortunately, they have to want the help. They have to want to get the help themselves. And, we really did try, and he was getting better. He was waiting for his housing from the VA, and he had his appointment, and he was going, but he was 100% disabled because of his shoulder and because of a head injury that he endured when he was in the service. So unfortunately, he could not work because of those injuries.
Yeah,
so,
he didn't make us aware of that when we discussed that with him. So that explains a lot.
Yeah, and he was a very proud person. He didn't want to ask for help. You know what I mean? And I don't know. We're just at a loss still, and it's still just very shocking to us. And these people coming out and making these allegations, and it's awful. It's just awful.
I thought it was rather uncouth. I mean, regardless of what you feel about somebody, I mean, it's one thing to make something disparaging to a third party, but it's another thing to broadcast it out there, to the world, especially if what you're saying is true. These are all false allegations. Now, I just have to ask, is this some kind of like ganging up? Because I'm really shocked that a lot of the folks that were ganging up on you, that were trying to, I guess, back up his wife on Twitter, on the thread in particular where I said the RIP to John, they were once very good friends with this guy. I mean, I remember there's some guy named Coyote in the Hat, that weirdo, and I mean all these weird like furry people were actually very good friends with him. I mean, I'm in shock that all the folks that used to actually like communicate with him intimately for years, obviously saw him at some point IRL, are all just turning against him because of, I mean, I guess what's being alleged, and you're suggesting that it's just an absolute lie.
I can absolutely tell you that he's never met any of these people in real life, other than his wife. That's it. They've never had contact with each other in real life ever. It's always been over Twitter.
Yeah. That's unfortunate about the internet, and it's unfortunate that you've got folks that aren't really intimate into the situation making, just kind of blanketed comments and that sort of thing. Now, let me ask you one more thing, and I don't want to keep you too long. You did suggest that you have a compilation of the correspondences that you had with Dark Razors' wife, And in most of those correspondences towards the end here in the past couple of years, she would end it with kill yourself in a lot of those correspondences. And I read that. Is there validity to that? I mean, are you going to pursue something as it relates to, litigation or something because of this?
I really thought about it. I really, really did. I have a lot of, screenshots myself of people who are supposedly his friends that knew him, telling him to kill himself. And I hope you die. I mean, there's people right now celebrating his death. I mean, it's absolutely crazy. He did not commit suicide, so I don't know if what legal standing I really have because he didn't commit suicide.
That's what they all said. So I had no idea how he died. I just was told that he died, and that was a big shock. It was a big shock to everybody in all my chat rooms as well. So I felt it was an obligation for me to say something that commemorated him. That he was one of the. I mean, he was a big part of this community, and I wanted thoughts and prayers to his friends and loved ones because, I mean, regardless, nobody likes losing a loved one. I mean, even if that loved one was had a turbulent life, and then just to kind of throw salt in the wound, I thought that was just kind of. I didn't really know how to feel about that. And yet you've got a lot of this guy, this ex-wife of his friends that are, trying to send me all these like screenshots that are allegedly his like Twitter account saying all these weird, very nefarious things. So a lot of information going on out here.
Yeah, that's got to be a false Twitter. It's not even his. I don't think it's got to be fake or yeah. Well, yeah, I don't know.
Well, I would suggest that if this is legit slander and it's a dissemination of misinformation by this group of people related to his ex-wife, I mean, some kind of, I would say at least civil litigation, would be up in the air because, I mean, if you do have a compilation of different documented evidence that not only did she suggest to kill himself, which look, I mean, it's one thing to say it in the midst of passion and you're fighting. It's another thing to document it and to continue document it and emailing it and texting, because that will always be pulled up when anything terrible happens. I mean, you're documenting yourself that this is what you've said. This is what you meant. So I just can't believe that there's this many people that used to be his friends too. I'm really shocked. There's a lot of people that are now, that are part of this furry community that I guess that his ex-wife is a part of, that were very close friends or at least internet friends with him, that are, I am shocked that they're just like literally backstabbing him.
Yeah. I think a lot of it is because, she's a woman and women are the ones that are victims of domestic violence. And so that worked for her and they believed her.
Unbelievable. Did you want to have anything? I don't want to keep you too long. I know this is probably very difficult for you. Do you want to say anything positive? Anything, so that folks that actually appreciated his contribution to, the show and, the good time we had some great times back in 2010, 2011, 2012. And then I took the hiatus and I understood that he went to the military and I thought he was actually doing pretty well for himself. And then somewhere along the way, he kind of, I mean, you're saying from your perspective, it was the ex-wife that took him into a way different path that has, took him on a trajectory to where, hey, he was in the military, he had a career, he had things going on for himself, and then all of a sudden it took a massive downhill to the point where this is where we're at today.
Yeah. Yeah. I just want to say that he really did love the whole ghost, and he, all the followers, and if he saw the support that he was getting now, I think that would make him really, really happy. This was a great period of his life. I mean, I remember him in his room on his laptop and his computer, making these videos and these, YouTubes. And I remember him, being just a teenager in there, and it was great. And he would share, your your audios, and it was just, it was funny. It was really good, and he loved it. He really enjoyed it a lot. So I want to thank you for, honoring him, and showing him that there are, other things out there. His dad wanted to say something, if that's okay.
Sure, go right ahead.
How you doing, guys?
How you doing, sir?
Well, considering the circumstances, I'm trying.
I know it, man.
I just want those people out there who think that John was just going to leech off the military and his benefits and everything else. He got a sum of money, and he gave most of it away to people on the internet that were hurting. And you guys know who you are.
Unreal.
He's given money. He's even given money to his ex-wife. She asked for money, and he gave it to her.
Unreal. I can't believe that all this drama has ensued, but
Well, I know she's petty, man. If you knew her, I mean, you would understand just by being around her for even one day. You would realize she's like bipolar or something. She flips a switch from one extreme to another, just like that. But I just want to say, I mean, people can think what they want and say what they want, but we know in our hearts. I talk to him every single day, all through his journey, all throughout, up until the day before his accident.
Well, I'm really sorry for your loss and your wife's loss. I do want to say that if it wasn't for your son, the fun aspect of what this show ended up turning out to be would have never have existed. And
I remember I was by his side the whole time he was doing it. At first, he started by just getting people to troll you because he liked the way you got pissed off and cussing at people and everything else. And he thought it was pretty funny. But then he started getting into it. He even took a lot of your ideas with him into the military.
Yeah, man, I know it. I remember hearing about him. I remember hearing about him being in the military. He was in the military a pretty good amount of time. And it all makes sense now why the downhill happened. I mean, when you have a bad marriage or a bad divorce, I mean, that could, throw a man back, not just financially, but mentally, spiritually. And look, when I talked to him, that's what he sounded like. He sounded completely broken, man. He didn't want to do anything. He just like, he was just very nonchalant, we were all kind of taken back by how, just like I wouldn't even call it depression. It was kind of like just blank,
giving up. Like giving up.
100% is what he sounded like. He gave up.
Yeah, I know. I talked to him, and he started going to rehab, doing therapy, doing meetings, and everything else. So he was in a really good place recently, and I think that kind of pissed her off because he had other friends he was giving money to. I mean, he gave somebody $500 the other day, just earlier this week. End of last week, because she needed it for and he doesn't ask for anything in return. So a lot of that money he gave away, and he was staying in a hotel until the VA got his housing together, because we got a full house here, and he was staying with us for a while, but then he wanted to go out and get his own place because
Yeah, I know. I mean, everybody wants their own place. I mean, hell, he'd been working. He'd been in the military. I hear you.
No, I'm just saying. I mean, a lot of people go through the life having any kind of impact on anybody. He's had impact on some people apparently out there.
No, he absolutely did. I mean, there was everybody that when I announced that he was no longer with us, I mean, there were like at least, I would say 500, maybe 700 people that were like, "Oh my God!" I mean, they're there, with their comments that, "Hey, I would have never have known about you if it wasn't for him." And I used to listen to his clips late at night and that sort of thing. And he grew a community himself, out of the clipping work, and that's why I'm kind of shocked that many of those people that were a part of his community are now doing all this disparaging.
We went through his phone, we went through his laptop, and that Twitter account did not exist on any of his electronic devices. So I'm assuming maybe she did that to make him look bad, throw him in a bad light. Her and her new boyfriend, whoever he is, I think he lives in the basement with his mom somewhere, but I don't know. I mean, it's just it's sad to see people who don't even have a life of their own, that they got to sit there and try to disparage somebody else's.
Unfortunately, that's the internet. I mean, if you listen to my
Yeah,
show,
I
I mean,
know.
that's what it's what it is, man. I do that to me fucking daily.
I listen to your show a lot, man.
Hey, I
John got me
appreciate it.
into it.
I appreciate it, man. I appreciate it. Well, listen, I thank you and your better half. That's what I call my wife. You
Oh,
and
she
your
is,
better
man.
half.
Definitely.
I hope that you guys, find some solace in the fact that, your son, touched people's lives, affected people's lives. And regardless of what the memories that the opposition, his wife or ex-wife, I should say, and her cohorts are saying about him, there's a lot of folks out here that remember him and that'll always remember him. And he'll always be a part of this community. So I just want you to know that. And
That means a lot.
I hope that you all find, some kind of healing in that. And by the way, I mean, time is the ultimate healer. So I hope that you guys can kind of have time heal the wounds. And then once the pain goes away, the happiness of the good times and the things that he did will start resonate a lot better.
Well, no parent expects to bury their kid,
No, they should not. That should never happen, man.
No. All right, Ghost. Hey, I appreciate you giving us a chance to at least try to clear some of this up. I mean, people are going to make their own decisions, come to their own judgments. But I mean, you got to have both sides of the story.
I hear
and
you.
I appreciate you giving us our time to
I appreciate you putting the record, setting the record straight.
I mean, he's our son. We're proud of him. We're proud of what he accomplished. He turned his life around a lot over the last few months.
It's a shame that, he didn't just stay on that path, but, that's how people, outside influences, I mean, it's really, it's a rough world, it's even harder when you have substance abuse and potential depression.
Yeah. I mean, he was taking his medication. He was doing really good. He was looking forward to going out there and doing some stuff,
Yeah, I know, man. Hey, man,
right.
we're thoughts and prayers to you and the missus. All right. Hope y'all can kind of somehow gather some kind of solace amongst all this.
Yeah, I just, if people are going to talk shit, they should at least hear both sides. I mean, they can come to their own judgments. I'm not trying to influence anybody either way. But I know in my heart, we know in our heart, and through our extended investigative services that we're not wrong.
Well, we appreciate it. And I thank you and your wife once again for setting the record straight and letting everybody know that a lot of the things that are being alleged are not necessarily true. And you have access to all of his devices and all of his accounts. And, to you can't find any evidence that suggests that these tweets that he sent out are actually his.
Yeah, none whatsoever.
All right, sir. Well, I don't want to keep you on here. I don't want to, keep this wound open. I thank you once again. And if there's any last words, I leave you the floor, man.
You guys out there banging away on your keyboards, you need to do better. Okay? I mean, find a hobby outside where you can get some sunlight. But you guys really do need to be better. There's too much hate, racism, and just a bunch of chaos going around right now. We need to come together, not separate each other.
Thanks, agree to that. I try to tell them that all the time, man. Thank you. Great sentiments. And my thoughts and prayers to you and your wife.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you both. All right. I appreciate it. Wow. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. I mean, that was like an emotional situation that I did not anticipate. And, I'm kind of glad that his parents came out and, tried to say that a lot of the allegations that are being alleged on the thread that I just posted, one of the first true capitalist radio clippers, Dark Razors, has passed away. Very, very fucking emotional moment. I'll be honest, very emotional. All right. I mean, you could feel the pain of those parents, regardless of what you feel about Dark Razors. You could feel that parent's pain. All right, we got Belligerent Brian. Pick up Belligerent Brian on Twitter Spaces. All right, let's see. What Belligerent Brian, you there? Oh, where you at? Here he is. What's up, Belligerent Brian? You're on the Twitter Space here. What's up, man?
Death is obviously a very, very complicated thing. So I was in a situation a couple of years ago where my friend unfortunately killed himself. And after that, yeah, a lot of horrid shit came out. Now, obviously, this was a suicide. We were about the same age. I'm now 30, so you get a rough idea. The situation that his parents are in is fucking shit. It's genuinely awful. The unfortunate thing about it is, though, when somebody dies, you generally tend to find a lot of information comes out after the fact. And I'm sure you probably realize, I mean, obviously you've lived a lot, and I'm sure you've seen friends die and come and go, have you? The thing that really sort of stuck out to me was, even when you've been friends with somebody, because I was friends with him for 14 years, he was my closest friend. And at the end of it, you eventually come to the realization that you didn't really know them. You just ended up effectively making a sketch of a shadow. And
very good assessment.
Where everyone is with him, obviously he was a big part of the community. We can never truly know what somebody was like. His parents will obviously want to defend him, and I hold no sort of judgment against them for that. The same thing happened with my friend's parents, and he did a lot worse shit. And I mean a lot worse.
Wow.
The kind that I wouldn't have been friends with him had I known.
So this all came out after the suicide?
Yeah, it did. And funnily enough, domestic abuse came out afterwards as well. He ended up killing himself because he was cheating behind her back. So obviously fuck him, right, for his actions there. But the person he was cheating with did effectively attempt to kill himself. It's not nice, obviously, but somebody's actions will come out after they have died. I wouldn't write them all off. Certainly not. There are people who are obviously going to want to drag his name through the mud. But the question I would ask is, why wait until they're dead?
That's a very good point. Why wait until they're dead? And why rub it in the faces of the parents? I mean, of all people.
Exactly. So, take away your opinions from this, from what you've heard, and obviously make your own assessments of it. But I personally wouldn't write it all off. Obviously, we've all had crazy exes in the past, but don't get bogged down with the idea of somebody living a blameless life just because they're dead, because that misnomer is completely false. And I'm sure that there isn't a single person in here who wouldn't have some unfortunate piece of information come out about them after they died. Severity, obviously, depending.
Well, man, hey, thank you very much. Very poignant take there, belligerent Brian. And I think you're absolutely correct. When people die, all of a sudden things start coming out. People start saying things. People start, saying, "Hey, look at what I have. I've got a picture. I've got this." I get it, man. And it's really, really bad. And fuck you told me to stay on the line. I was on the line, by the way. Fuck you. As a matter of fact, I thought that was a very emotional interview. Impromptu, by the way. I had no idea that Dark Razor's parents were actually going to join this X Spaces. Unreal. I just wanted to have a few things said about the guy. I know, once again, people would not have known about True Capitalist Radio if it wasn't for him. I know that there's a lot of, a lot of intrigue about this subject because it's serious and it's affecting the community. And now you've got a lot of he said, she said, you know what I mean? And fuck you with another buy me a coffee. All right, man, let's wrap this up and let them grieve. Well, I just did. Fuck you. Thank you very much, whoever the hell you are. We got a buy me a coffee from somebody named A Cunt. And A Cunt said, I'll say this. I'll mourn Dark Razors, a brilliant guy that introduced a lot of people to your show, a guy that always tried to make the community join in total unity, a guy with a brilliant future ahead. John, on the other hand, was fucked up. Regardless of what anybody says, you yourself saw it, Ghost. Maybe it was joining the military. Maybe it was the divorce. Maybe it was the side effect of drugs. We will never know. Even if the whole strange allegations about him being a creep are true or just typical results of hater behavior of the El Pazholes kind. But one thing I know, I'll miss Dark Razors, not John. All right, that's somebody, A Cunt, who hooked that up with a buy me a coffee. We're getting a lot of different views here. And once again, I really do thank the parents of Dark Razors for having the courage and, having the, I mean, the will to come up on here, given the fact that this is the internet, and given the fact that they're probably going to have a lot of people tweet at them and, contact them on social media and troll them, because that's exactly what the internet is. But I'm glad that they at least witnessed a lot of people who, are not going to forget the guy. And, that's all we want in life, right? All we want in life is to live a good, comfortable, content life. All right? Because, by the way, folks that are taking psychotropic drugs, you're not intended to be happy all the fucking time. I know that's what psychiatrists and psychologists suggest. Hey, you're not supposed to be happy all the fucking time. I don't give a shit what pill they give you. All right? But once we live this content life and we pass on and we no longer on this earth, all we have left that we even existed are the physical documents that we either wrote or signed, anything that we painted, anything that we created, anything that we built with our own hands. Those are the only artifacts that signify that we even existed on this earth. And the other is who remembers you once you're no longer on this earth. Whether people are going to mourn you, whether people are going to remember you. And that's really what this is about. And regardless of what you feel about Dark Razors, I hope that many of you folks recognize that, hey, you guys aren't getting any younger. All right. And the future belongs to no one. So if you're going to be a jerk off your whole life, and when you die, no one's going to give a shit. I mean, and look, I don't give a shit how, I guess, soulless you think you are. Everybody wants to be remembered favorably when they die by somebody, by your mom, by the parents, by your family, by your friends, by the people that you interfaced with. That's what you want people to remember. So, in conclusion, I do get some gratification in the fact that Dark Razor's parents, amidst all the tragedy that has happened with his death, and then having these freaky little furries out here trying to disparage his memory and are, trying to, I don't know, just trying to continue the hurt. I really appreciate them coming along and airing out their side of the story. And I'm glad that they are taking some solace in the fact that John Montoya is remembered, whether you remember him favorably or you remember him in some disparaging way. At least he's remembered, and I'm glad that it gives some level of solace to those parents. And anybody who's going out there and tweeting at him and trying to be a jerk, don't be a fucking jerk. All right? Don't be a fucking jerk. And look, I'm not doxing, all right? He's dead, and I think everybody needs to know the guy. He's no longer on this earth. Dark Razors, the guy that was one of the first clippers of True Capitalist Radio, the guy that brought many of you into this community. All right? At the very least, we can remember him and say, man, time is the ultimate magician. Anyway, we got a couple of more buy me a coffees, and then I'm going to go. I'm going to watch this fucking game, but man, that was very intense. Very intense interview, and impromptu. That was not something that was planned. I was actually hoping that one of these jerk-offs that were talking all this garbage about Dark Razors would actually want to talk here, but none of them are on here waiting to talk. I would have loved to have talked to Snail's Eggs and get her side of the story. I would have liked to have heard from some of these freaky little furry friends of hers and gotten their side of the story, but none of them decided that they wanted to come up on X Spaces to say a goddamn thing. So isn't it ironic, don't you think? And speaking of irony, here's JSav with a buy me a coffee. Go through the fire, which I'm not. And Stream Troll Mike, he said, we'll probably never know the full unbiased story, but my heart still breaks for his parents. I wish for them the best. And Stream Troll Mike is a trolly bastard too. And even he is finding it in his heart to be like, man, I mean, regardless of what you think about Dark Razors, that's their son. That's their son. And I thought it was very brave of those people to get up on here and say their side of the story with a straight face and not bawling their eyes out. I mean, you could tell they had been crying. You could just hear it in their voice. You could just hear it. And it just hurts. You know, every time you lose somebody very close, it hurts. Especially a son. All right. No parent should have to bury their son. It's a shame. And I hate to leave it like this, but man, I mean, this has gotten intense. And wait a minute, fuck you, just hooked it up with a buy me a coffee. Your toenail paintings will never be worth shit. Fuck you, dude. All right. All right. Look, first of all, I don't do art to sell. All right. I do art because I'm an angry fuck. All right, I got an anger problem. I don't know if you guys know that or not, but I've got an anger problem. And when I find that I focus my attention on the artistic part of my brain, I tend to have this anger just kind of pause itself, not HIV positive, but pause itself. And so that I can put my efforts and energy into focusing on something as a piece of artwork or something creative. So if you yourself have the same type of anger problems, I think that you should try to do something similar to try to offset any kind of anger. Because I think I told you guys on the last Ghost show, my comfort zone, my comfort state is anger. So I got to find some ways to kind of chill that out. And, you know, art is one of them. Now, the reason this jerk off fuck you said my toenail paintings or whatever is because I told these pricks, or I shouldn't have told, I tell these pricks all this stuff whenever I'm drunk. That's why they want me to get drunk. All right? So that I can unearth this bullshit so they can troll me to holy hell about it. But I did say that I'm collecting my nail clippings, all right? And I am going to make a huge sofa fucking painting of all the fucking toe and fucking nail clippings and all that shit. Put it all on a canvas, all right? And I'm not going to tell you or describe it to you because I don't want you fucking poachers mooching off of my fucking creative idea. All right. But let me just tell you this. All right. It's going to be composed of all of my fingernails and my toenails. And the artwork is going to be called Clone Me. Huh? Who's fucking creative? Huh? Who the fuck is creative? Huh? And why is everybody saying disgusting in the Ghost Dot Report chat room? Go fuck yourself, dude. All right? I'm being deep here, man. I'm an artist. All right? I'm not like these fucking furries out here who think they're an artist because, I don't know, they can yiff in a goddamn fucking mascot outfit. All right? I'm an artist. All right? I'm a creative guy. I'm an artist. And hold on, we got another buy me a coffee. Pick up some more people on Spaces. Also, when are the plushies going to go up on Ghost Dot Market? I think Ghost Politics would kill for a Ghost Fuma. What the fuck are you talking? First of all, hell no. All right, just imagine me peddling fucking plushies for Christ's sake. And you know what? Even if I did one, I would only do like, I don't know, maybe 10 of them. And I guess what? For plushies, you got to like personally make them yourself, like you're a fucking seamstress or something. Huh? Like it's a fucking episode of the goddamn Three Amigos. I'm supposed to sew this shit together and shit. I mean, if I did that, I'd probably, I'm not doing it. I'm not even going to entertain it. I don't even know why I'm saying it. You see what you fuckers are doing? And Gino X 1987 said, since you are such a historical fan of the Alamo, would you want your ashes to be fired out of a cannon over the battlefield? Well, no, I wouldn't, but I wouldn't mind first of all, I don't want to be cremated. All right. I don't want to be cremated. I want my fucking body buried like everybody else. All right? I don't want to be fucking ashes that's going to be put on a goddamn fucking a mantle so that when everybody's out there fucking fat on their asses after a goddamn artery clogging Thanksgiving dinner, they look at my ashes and say, hey, we love you, Ghost. I know you're looking down on us, man. It's fucking ashes. It's probably not even me. All right? There's some fucking pothead who's running the crematorium is probably throwing his fucking pot ashes in there and calling it fucking Granny and Grampy. But yeah, I hope that, you know, validates what I suggested there. Gino X 1987.